Have you ever visited a place that felt like a forgotten memory? A view like a breeze through old bamboo China is one of those places, a land where ancient history and modern marvels exist as one. It's a country where a single journey can take you from the bustling skyline of Shanghai to the silent breath of wild pandas. Come with us on a journey to explore 10 of China's most iconic landmarks, from the majestic Great Wall to the poetic waters of Hangzhou. If this journey resonates with you, please like and subscribe to help us share the quiet wonders of the world. Fun facts about China. Before we wander through mountain paths and timeless gardens, let's rest here a moment and learn a little more about the land beneath our feet. Did you know China is the birthplace of 4 of the most important inventions in human history: paper printing, gunpowder, and the compass. It is home to over 1.4 billion people, and yet across its vast land, 56 different ethnic groups share space, each with their own languages, songs, and stories. The Chinese language has no alphabet, only characters, each one a brushstroke of history and meaning. Written Chinese dates back over 3,000 years. Mandarin is the most spoken language in the world, and yet within China, there are hundreds of dialects, each as melodic and layered as the landscape itself. Tea was discovered in China over 4,000 years ago. Today, it is a sacred rhythm of daily life, from quiet village mornings to elegant tea ceremonies passed down through generations. Rice is the heartbeat of Chinese cuisine. Grown across emerald terraces and fertile river valleys, it feeds not only the body, but centuries of tradition. Traditional Chinese medicine, with its roots stretching back over 2,500 years, continues to offer a deeply holistic approach to health, one where balance matters more than cure, and where healing includes the mind and soul. And in the misty mountains of Sichuan, the beloved giant panda still lives in the wild, a living symbol of harmony and gentleness, preserved through decades of careful conservation. Lastly, though, China spans 5 time zones. It lives by just one national clock, a country so vast that in its western reaches, the sun may not rise until 10 a.m. These are not just facts. They are threads in a tapestry that has been woven for over 4,000 years. And now, it's time to walk gently into that tapestry. 1. Beijing. In Beijing, the past does not lie behind glass, it walks beside you. A city of emperors and revolution of red walls and rising steel. It holds 3,000 years in its breath and still looks forward with steady eyes. At its heart stands the Forbidden City, a palace of gold and silence, where 24 emperors once moved through jade courtyards and shadowed halls. Behind its vermilion gates lie 999 rooms, each echoing footsteps of dynasties long gone. Beyond its northern walls stretches Tiananmen Square, vast and unmoving, a space where history gathers like fog. It's not just a plaza, it's memory carved in stone. But Beijing is not only grand, it is intimate. In the quiet hutongs, narrow alleys where laundry sways in the wind and the smell of sesame oil rises from family kitchens. These neighborhoods resist time even as glass towers rise around them. In the west, the summer palace rests like a breath, and in the south, the Temple of Heaven holds the soft prayers of ancient emperors, where echoes still ring beneath the vaulted sky. Beijing sings in contrasts. One moment you're sipping Dragonwell tea in a shaded courtyard. The next you're marveling at the Bird's Nest Stadium, a sculpture of steel born for the modern age. The crisp skin of Peking duck sliced before your eyes. The street stalls at night, the laughter over dumplings, the clink of porcelain teacups. Beijing doesn't ask you to choose between past and present, it invites you to walk between them, slowly, thoughtfully, with eyes open to both. Two, Forbidden City. At the heart of Beijing lies a world once veiled in silence, the Forbidden City, where for nearly 5 centuries the pulse of an empire beat behind vermilion walls. Built in the early 15th century under the Ming dynasty, this immense palace complex, spanning over 180 acres and more than 9,000 rooms, was not simply a home, but a universe reserved for emperors, concubines, and quiet power. For generations, ordinary people were forbidden to pass its gates. The golden roofs, the towering red walls, and the vast stone courtyards once guarded a life most could only imagine. Today, however, that secluded world gently unfolds before us, inviting not with overt force, but with a profound, quiet grandeur. Step through the Meridian Gate, and time slows. You walk the same stone paths once tread by scholars in silk and soldiers in silence. In the Hall of Supreme Harmony, where emperors once knelt before heaven and earth, echoes still linger in the still air. The symmetry of the architecture is not just aesthetic, it is intentional, designed to reflect cosmic balance and earthly order. Beyond the ceremonial halls lies the Imperial Garden, where willow trees bend over koi-filled ponds and winding paths lead through pavilions. It is here, not in the throne rooms, that the city feels most human, where solitude can find space even within the walls of power. Every detail holds meaning. The dragons on the eaves, the glazed tiles, the colors of red and gold, all speak of a symbol world. And yet, for all its grandeur, the Forbidden City feels not boastful, but enduring. A place not frozen in the past, but gently holding it. To walk here is to move not through a museum, but through memory. And as the sun begins to fall across the rooftops, the palace glows not as a relic, but as a whisper from China's imperial. Three, Great Wall of China. Like a great stone dragon sleeping across the northern mountains, the Great Wall of China stretches over deserts, hills, and quiet valleys, its spine winding through more than 21,000 kilometers of history. From a distance, it seems eternal, but walk its worn steps, and you feel the weight of time beneath your feet, each stone a memory, each tower a quiet sentinel. Built over 2 millennia, from the early Qin dynasty to the height of the Ming, the wall is less a single structure than a thread stitched across dynasties, across sacrifice. Millions of hands shaped it: soldiers, peasants, prisoners. Some say one life was lost for every meter of its construction. Others say you can still feel their presence in the wind that whispers through the battlements. In some sections, builders mixed sticky rice into the mortar, an ingenious ancient innovation that still binds the bricks tighter than modern cement. And in every part, from Badling's polished stones to the wild, crumbling reaches of Jiangku, the wall is more than a defense. It stands as a profound memory of human endurance. Climb the quiet ridges of Jinshaling, where the wall winds through untouched hills, or stand at Mutianyu, where mist rises and watchtowers glow in morning light. From every height, the view stretches far, and does the feeling of awe, of smallness, of connection. They say, no one is a true hero until they've walked the Great Wall. But here heroism feels quiet. It lives in silence, in footsteps in stone. The wall doesn't just divide land, it gathers stories. And somewhere between the stones and sky, you might find your own. Four, Shanghai, where the Huangpu River bends like a ribbon through steel and stone. Shanghai rises a city of contrasts, of tempo, of light. Once a sleepy fishing town, and later a treaty port, carved by foreign hands, it has transformed into a shimmering symbol of China's modernity. But beneath its glass towers and neon glow, the past still breathes quietly. Begin your journey on the Bund, where time folds gently. Colonial facades, European in origin and Chinese in soul, stand across from Pudong's futuristic skyline. It's a meeting of centuries in a glance, domes and pillars facing spires and steel heritage, watching innovation unfold. Cross the river and the city ascends. In Lujiazui, skyscrapers reach into the clouds, the Shanghai Tower twisting like wind, the Oriental Pearl playful in its geometry. From their heights, the city spreads wide, modern, magnificent in motion. Yet in the old city alleys, curl between low rooftops, Yu Garden, a masterpiece of the Ming dynasty, waits in stillness behind stone walls, a world of koi ponds, carved bridges, and quiet pavilions where time slows to a whisper. Wander Nanjing Road, where the pulse quickens again. Laughter spills from storefronts, aromas drift from street stalls, and Shanghai's energy wraps around you like silk. At night, the skyline becomes a reflection of ambition, each light a story, each tower a symbol. Yet Shanghai's magic lies not in its scale, but in its rhythm. A city becoming yet somehow never forgetting. 5. Xi'an. In Xi'an, you can feel the weight of history pressing gently at your shoulders. For this isn't just a city, it's a living whisper from 3,000 years ago. Here, the Terracotta Warriors stand in quiet ranks, their clay faces each carrying a different story. Step close enough, and you might feel as if they've only just paused, frozen mid-breath, waiting for their emperor's call. It's a reminder that time can be both fleeting and eternal. Beyond the great halls of history, the old city wall still encircles Xi'an like a guardian. Walking its stones at sunset, you'll see rooftops and lanterns below the air, carrying scents of spices, grilled lamb skewers, and fresh dumplings from the Muslim quarter. The flavors are bold, but they carry the warmth of home, rujiamo in hand, steam rising into the cool evening air. In the markets, artisans shape paper cuttings and carve tiny warriors for travelers to take away. Each feels like a quiet promise that you'll remember this place long after you've gone. And if you listen closely, the wind carries echoes from the Silk Road, as if traders and poets from centuries past are still passing through. In Xi'an, the ancient and the present are not separate, they live side by side like two friends walking the same path. Spring and autumn bring the city's most gentle days when the air is cool and kind. But in any season, Xi'an will meet you not just with sights, but with a feeling that you've stepped into the heart of China's memory and found a part of yourself there too. Hangzhou. On the gentle edge of the Yangtze Delta, where mist rolls in, like a sigh at dawn, Hangzhou, long praised in Chinese poetry as heaven on earth. At its heart is West Lake, a still glimmering mirror, where stone bridges arch like silk ribbons, and weeping willows lean in as if to admire their own reflections. The lake does not shout for attention. It whispers in ripples and breeze of centuries past. Here morning begins slowly. Boats glide silently across the water, their oars barely disturbing the calm. Along the shaded banks, pathways lead to pagodas wrapped in climbing ivy gardens, designed to echo nature's rhythms and tea houses that seem unchanged by time. The broken bridge, steeped in legend, feels like something half-remembered from a dream. Beyond the lake, green hills rise softly, where Nanjing tea is still plucked by hand from dew-covered terraces. The leaves carry the scent of spring, warm, grassy, faintly sweet, and are brewed with reverence. A cup of dragonwell tea, once reserved for emperors, warms both hands and spirit. Wander further to Guilin Temple, where incense drifts upward like silent prayers. Carved into cliffs nearby, our ancient Buddha faces their expressions serene as though listening to the trees. In Hangzhou, spirituality doesn't preach. It simply exists quiet, present, eternal. And yet the city moves gently into modernity. The hum of innovation, the canals of old trade routes, the echo of silk being woven all blend into a song of balance. Hangzhou does not pull you forward, it welcomes you back, like a place your soul already knew. Seven. Hong Kong. While the city beyond grows ever taller, these gardens remain still refuges of balance and grace designed to weather time. Each garden tells not just the story of its owner, but the philosophy of a people who believed that harmony with nature was the highest art of all. On the waters of Victoria Harbour, ferries glide like whispers between past and future. Glass towers rise behind them, their reflections shimmering beside weathered sampans. Each evening, the skyline becomes a dance of lights, a celebration of motion and stillness. From Victoria Peak, the city unfurls beneath you like a scroll. Busy streets, forested slopes, islands drifting in the South China Sea. The journey up aboard the vintage Peak tram tilts you gently toward wonder. But Hong Kong holds two hearts. One beats fast among the high-rise offices' neon markets and thrumming walkways of Central and Tsim Sha Tsui. The other is softer, found in temple courtyards, thick with incense, or on trails that wind through subtropical forests, where butterflies stir and the sea sings softly through hidden coves. Even in the chaos, peace can be found. Ride a quiet tram through Wan Chai, or lose yourself among the flower stalls of Mong Kok, where colors bloom against the rhythm of everyday life. On Lantau Island, the Big Buddha waits above the clouds, silent, still watching the world spin below. And on a clear morning, walking the Dragon's Back Trail, you might feel it too, how East and West, old and new, can exist in perfect fleeting balance. Hong Kong is a mirror city reflecting who you were and who you might yet become. 8. Guangzhou. Guangzhou, in the deep south of China, is a city that has always faced outward open, curious, and ever-changing. For over 2,000 years, it has been China's window to the world. But behind the commerce and modern towers, there is something softer. As you walk along the Pearl River, the water shimmers with reflections of both steel and stone. Canton Tower, tall and elegant like a ribbon in the wind, glows gently at night, painting the sky in shifting pastels. You might hear a piano from a window or footsteps on old cobblestones, as if the city still remembers the voices of distant sailors and scholars. In the early mornings, you'll find elders painting poetry with water on stone pavements. Their brushes move like breathing each stroke, disappearing before the next begins, reminding us how fleeting and beautiful every moment is. And then there is the food. Cantonese cuisine, delicate and precise, is not just eaten, it's honored. In the bustling markets, scents of star anise and fresh ginger drift through the air. Dim sum arrives in bamboo baskets, small treasures of flavor passed between generations. Every bite carries the memory of family, of tea, shared quietly, of recipes that once crossed oceans. Guangzhou is loud, alive, but also profoundly human. A place where a simple walk through the park or a quiet moment at a tea table can feel like a return to something forgotten. A place that doesn't ask you to rush, only gently welcomes you into its rhythm. 9. Nanjing. Nestled along the serene Yangtze River, Nanjing, the historic southern capital, is a city that remembers every breath of 1,000 years. 10 different times it stood at the very heart of China's fate, shaping dynasties and dreams. And though time has moved on, Nanjing has never truly let go of its profound past. The old Ming dynasty's 33 kilometers of walls still stand with quiet resilience, hugging the hills and lakes like an embrace from the past. You can walk beside them in silence, your fingers brushing time-worn bricks, wondering how many generations have passed by these same ridges. In the early morning, the city slows. By the edges of Xuanwu Lake, the water sits still as glass. The sky reflects in its surface, soft, pale, endless. Elderly residents move slowly beneath century-old trees, practicing Tai Chi as birds skim across the lake. Yet Nanjing is not only gentle, it remembers pain, the loss, the grief held solemnly within the memorial of the Nanjing massacre. It is relevant. It is a place not to linger in sorrow, but to honor the will to rise again. Among these layers of history, modern life unfolds glowing with hope. The Zifeng Tower stretches toward the sky, its lights glowing like a lantern against the night. In the Confucius Temple district, boats float gently on the Qinhuai River, their lanterns mirrored in the water. Lovers walk hand in hand. And for just a moment, it feels like the past and the present are not separate, but joined like verses of the same old poem. Nanjing is a city that has known glory and sorrow, silence and rebirth, and yet it greets you gently, quietly. Shenzhen. Once a quiet fishing village by the sea, Shenzhen has grown into a city that touches the clouds, a place where the future seems to rise from the ground each morning faster than memory can keep up. Here, in just a few decades, glass towers have replaced rice fields, and streets, once known for silence, now echo with the rhythm of invention. It is a city where 17 million people from across China have gathered, each bringing a dream, a skill, a story. And yet, if you take your time, walk slowly, you will still find the quiet things. In the heart of the city, beneath the buzz of LED billboards and tech centers, there are pockets of peace green parks where banyan trees stretch wide like open arms. Sit beside a lotus pond in Lianhua Hill Park, and you might hear birdsong over the gentle hum of the metro below. Stroll through Window of the World, where the Eiffel Tower and pyramids stand side by side, like childhood sketches come to life. It is playful, nostalgic, and strangely moving, a reminder that the world is not so far apart as we think. Down at Shenzhen Bay, the breeze carries the scent of the sea and the murmurs of evening walkers. Old men play chess under lantern-lit pavilions. Even here in the city of circuits and startups, the human spirit finds its rhythm. Shenzhen shows us that transformation doesn't erase the past. It layers over it like paint on old canvas, allowing both the old strokes and new color to shine through. From stone bridges over quiet waters to mountain paths, no guidebook mentions our journey today was a reminder that beauty often hides in the gentlest of places. We hope these quiet discoveries inspire you to seek your own paths less traveled. If you'd like to join us for more soul-stirring journeys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe.